And the director of the Spirit of Northwestern. Is that, did I say that right? The Spirit of Northwestern.
Spirit of Northwestern.
There's
That's right.
an awesome band. It's Steve McKeithen, and we go back a ways.
That's
We
right.
went to Arizona State University, and you're working on your high graduate degree.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here. I heard the band yesterday. I was blown away.
Thank you very much. They're great. It's fun to rehearse every day, and when you've got a band that's that big and that loud, there's so many things that you can do. So we enjoy doing it.
You feel
It's fun.
empowered, huh?
It's just a really visceral experience all the way around.
That's awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
And that performance will be at 6:30 Central Time tonight.
That's right. It'll
And
be the last
please
thing
stick
on.
around to see Steve McKeithen and Jeff Matthews, who's the director of bands, and there's a lot of excitement here about this band. There's a huge alumni support of this band, and on campus, we had the provost on yesterday, who was extolling the virtues of what it is to be with this band, and she likes to come here for an affirmation that everything's good on campus when she comes to a rehearsal of yours. That's
fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, she's a wonderful administrator, and it's really cool that she comes and watches and is very active with us. But when you look at the marching band, you're seeing a true cross section of the university. So every major, music major, non-major, whatever, it's all there.
Yeah.
And so it really is kind of a focal point for the university, but it's also a true cross section of the university at the same time. So it's
That's
a
beautiful.
cool dynamic. Yeah.
And that means that you, Steve McKeithen, can walk across the campus. People say hello to you all the way across the campus, probably, right?
And people do that anyway here because it's you're in the South. So, but yeah, I mean it's nice to feel welcome and get that vibe. It's really cool.
That's one thing that was taught to me today, that people say Mr. and the first name, so it's Mr. Steve.
Right. Well, I
Mr.
actually
Steve.
don't get that very often because usually with the college students, it's they put the last name in there. But like little kids
Yeah.
are always Mr. Steve or Mr. Sam.
That's good.
Or,
Yeah, I got called Mr. Sam. That
That's
was
right.
cool. So we just saw a couple of Class 1 bands after seeing a couple of big Class 4 bands, and we flexed down. And writing a show for that, and you have a lot of expertise in this area. The difference between a small band and a big band, same football field. What's the mentality?
There are advantages to both. I mean, certainly the big group can pull off the big sound and all that, but the advantage to a smaller group is that you have the ability to really find out from an individual level how they're playing and kind of dig into that dynamic. So you've got little bands that come out and play really well because they've had a lot of individual attention because the director can get to that level. But from a writing standpoint, it's still kind of the same animal. Let's hear some woodwind exposure. Let's hear some brass percussion. Let's mix that around. And as long as you lay the program out well, I think you could be very effective with a small group or a large group.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch the sizes change, and that you don't see very often because people are very strict about coming up through the classes. This is a refreshing thing for me to watch it as an audience member. You know what I mean? So there's a production value to this. Flexation.
It's a little bit out of necessity. I mean, there's a big SAT, ACT testing day and some homecoming things. So we had to kind of invent a schedule around some obstacles. And so, but I agree. I think one of the cool things is we've got a mix of bands all day long, and people can see a small group, a big group, and appreciate what they do. Some of the small groups got as much of an ovation as any of the big groups.
Yeah,
and a lot of love, which is really cool.
A lot of love, a lot of warmth to this little band. You go, little band. It's like really a fun thing as part of this 25th annual Northwestern State University marching contest. And I'm very impressed also that we have bands from Texas and bands from different parts of Louisiana. This is band country. I mean, I could tell you that now after
we're
being
in the middle
there
of
for a little while. That's really an awesome thing. And how long have you been here?
This is my second year at the university. And it's an interesting dynamic because we have a number of directors that are involved with all facets of the program. So it's not just stuck on one person. So there are days where if I'm out judging, Dr. Matthews takes care of things, or if he's out, I do things. And but primarily I do most of the rehearsal things, and I'm writing the drill. We're getting arrangements in. The Parkway director did the Soul show that we did a few weeks ago, which is a great show. Yeah, we really enjoyed doing that.
So it takes a village,
Yeah,
we got a lot of contributors.
It was fun to get a lot of production value out of from scratch type show.
Right. And I had a shocker yesterday. I walked up here and we opened the window and the first thing dropped and
Yeah.
it was something I helped to write.
I
was
know,
like,
I know.
boy, did it get played. We go back where you heard those things, way back when, and you brought them to clarity here. This is very, very well a put together band.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you in the village that helped to
it's
make
fun.
this happen.
That's one of my favorite shows. So it was more than anxious to bring it here because this is the type of band that can pull that off at a really high level.
Oh yeah, we call it dropping the hammer. You really dropped the hammer great.
We've dropped a bag of them, I think.
Bag of hammers.